शिव प्रेम में सती हो गए थे. Hello, I am Sahil Mittal from India, and today I bring you a tale that is a very small part of a much larger epic. Lord Shiva, the creator of the entire universe, is at the center of this story, which dates back to the very beginning of the earth. This story is documented in 5,000-year-old Hindu texts and is considered the world's first love story. Today's story begins after Shiva's wife, Sati, sacrificed herself for the pride of Lord Shiva. What follows is an exploration of the depths of love, loss, and pain. Shiva had returned to Kailash alone. The cosmic destruction had perhaps been averted, but the storm in Shiva's heart raged on, unshakable, sinking deeper with the descending dusk. His unbound locks flowed freely. The tiger skin he wore had torn in places, leaving parts of his thighs exposed. His eyes were bloodshot, ready to burst with unshed tears. His face, still and silent as a cremation ground, had lost its usual blue hue, blending instead with the darkness of sorrow. Even the remnants of Sati's burned body remained scattered as ashes on his shoulders. On any other day, Kailash would have been ablaze with the light of torches, but today it was drenched in the darkness of Shiva's grief. The fragrance of incense and ghee was absent. The smell of charred flesh clung to the air. Without Sati, Kailash felt as empty as a cremation ground without a body. Ah, Sati! Shiva let out a monstrous roar, but it wasn't a cry of physical pain. It was a sound born from the anguish of the soul. Today, the god of destruction, the conqueror of death, was grieving the death of another, while contemplating the end of the world. Love, isn't it beyond even divinity? Shiva absent-mindedly placed his chillum on the slab and closed his burning red eyes, as though wishing to erase his very existence. But the heart doesn't heed such commands. Whether eyes are open or closed, it sees only what the heart feels, and Shiv was at the mercy of his heart. As soon as he closed his eyes, Sati appeared before him in her full form. It was as though she would embrace him any moment, and for a fleeting second, Shiv's face lit up. But in the next, Sati, burned and lifeless, was cradled in his arms once again. For Shiv, it was unbearable. He jerked open his eyes. This is beyond what I can endure. Shiva stood up in panic and almost ran to the corner. A sill batter, grinding stone lay there, but it was empty. Where will I find Pang now? Shiva collapsed by the rocks, tears falling freely. Sati, I shouldn't have relied on you so much. Helplessly, Shiv looked around at Kailash. Everything was quiet, silent like death itself. Everything was in its place, from the seal batter for grinding bhang to his damru. After Sati had arrived, Kailash had changed completely. The ghosts were not allowed inside except on new moon nights. Snakes were given milk, and the seal batter was used for grinding bhang. Everything was orderly, but now with Sati gone, Kailash felt like a cremation ground again. Why did you come into my life, Sati? Shiva asked himself. It was perfect before. The cremation ground was my home. Nandi and Veerbhadra my companions, ghosts my servants, and wild fruits and herbs my food. Ganja and bhang brought bliss, and sorrow was reserved only for new moon nights. Shiva was tormented. He now smeared the ashes of Sati on his chest, wanting to absorb every last remnant of her into his very soul. His heart poured out its grief. Now that you've become my everything, the center of all my meditation and yoga, what's the meaning of your departure? Tears, unstoppable, flowed from Shiv's closed eyes. Sati, you made me Bhole from Rudra, and now you've left me to become an Oghar again. Shiva, the god of destruction, was weeping. The oceans of the world should have dried up by now. Shiva, the orphaned ascetic, who had spent his life among beings far from human, had found the meaning of love only in the depths of his meditation, in the intoxication of bhang. He had adorned his forehead with the moon, but had given his neck to a snake, choosing poison over nectar. Sati's presence in his life was like life coming close to death. She completed him. She was his best. And today, with her departure, Shiv's soul was shattered. Shiva's eyes were still closed, tears streaming down. From deep within his mind, where the boundaries of the heart and brain dissolve, he heard a familiar voice. Shiv. He could recognize that voice from anywhere. Sati. Shiva tried to open his eyes as if she'd appear before him, but it was as if he was in a trance. His eyes wouldn't obey him. Shiv, why this lament? To us, Sati, I am weary of all these contradictions. How long must I keep choosing poison over nectar? Not yet, Shiv, not so soon. This is your journey of destiny. This is the unending journey of being Mahadev. Without you, all journeys are meaningless, incomplete. Shiv, where am I not with you? Suddenly, a movement stirred within Shiv's soul. A vision emerged, growing clearer with every passing second. Shiv was astounded to see that the image was his own, without his trident or damru, without his rudraksh and snakes. In the next moment, the left half of his form began to change into that of a woman. It was Sati, present within Shiv's left side, or perhaps Shiv was present within Sati's right. Shiva, in your separation you have become Sati, and I in your love have become Shiva. Sati's voice echoed within Shiv's soul, growing fainter. Shiv, not destruction but destiny. Not death but life. It was impossible for Shiv to keep his eyes closed any longer. He opened them. The horizon over Kailash glowed with the full light of dawn. The apocalypse had been completely averted. I hope this story touched you as deeply as it did Shivi. Love, loss, and acceptance. These are the truths that bind us all, even gods. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more such beautiful stories. If you are looking for more parts, then let me know your thoughts in the comments. Tatu Sahil Mittal.